What's up, boys? Road to Lamborghini, episode 11. So, we are back in the morning routine. This one's going to be an interesting one because I got two books here. Okay, firstly, got the Holy Bible. Secondly, got Outsmarting Reality. Both absolutely bangers. Obviously, the Holy Bible it's different level, man. It's different gravy. But yeah, I've got two things I want to talk about from those books. Two pages I want to read out, or chapters, whatever. Not whole chapters, but kind of parts of it. But yeah, morning routine is back, boys. We are back on the 6:55 wake up. As you saw, if you're not following my Instagram already, go and follow, because I post way more about the whole journey and lifestyle and value and everything there. But yeah, we are back on a 6:55 a.m. wake up, which has been maybe missing for about 2 weeks now, which is actually pretty crazy now that I think about it. Apart from the day that I was flying back from Lisbon, because I was forced to wake up at that time because my flight was quite early, right? But apart from that, it's been, about 2 or 3 weeks that I haven't been waking up at this time. So we're back in a routine. The circadian rhythm is back, right? We're going to be waking up at 6:55 pretty much every morning now. But yeah, let's get straight into it, boys. So I'll read a couple things. Yeah, first we'll read the Bible thing. So this was the Bible chapter I read this morning, okay? And I might actually start doing more of these sort of YouTube videos where parts of these Road to Lamborghini's episodes, right? Let's have a look. Where was it? James, hold up. Give me a sec, boys. Yeah, this one had wisdom. I was like, damn, that's so true. Here we go. Actually, let me read 2 chapters, okay? Because this is genius. All right. Here we go. Temptation is not from God. When a person is tempted and still continues strong, he should be happy. After he has proven his faith, God will reward him with life forever. God promised this to all people who loved him. When someone is being tempted, he should not say, God is tempting me. Evil cannot tempt God, and God himself does not tempt anyone. It is the evil that a person wants that tempts him. His own evil desire lead him away and hold him. This desire causes sin. Then the sin grows and brings death. My dear brothers, do not be fooled about this. Every good action and every perfect gift is from God. These good things come down from the creator of the sun, moon, and stars. God does not change like their shifting shadows. God decided to give us life through the word of truth. He wanted us to be the most important of all things he made. Right, now I think this is actually a children's version of the Bible, if I'm not mistaken. International Children's Bible, yeah, there you go. So I think some of the words are slightly simplified, I think is the right word. But yeah, that's the first chapter. And then this is the one I actually read today, right? Listening and obeying. My dear brothers, always be willing to listen and slow to speak. Do not become angry easily. Anger will not help you live a good life as God wants. So put out of your life every evil thing and every kind of wrong you do. Don't be proud, but accept God's teaching that is planted in your heart. This teaching can save your souls. Do what God's teaching says. Do not just listen and do nothing. When you only sit and listen, you are fooling yourself. A person who hears God's teaching and does nothing is like a man looking in a mirror. He sees his face, then goes away and quickly forgets what he looked like. But the truly happy person is the one who carefully studies God's perfect law that makes people free. He continues to study it, he listens to God's teaching, and does not forget what he has heard. Then he obeys what God's teaching says. When he does this, it makes him happy. Right? That is pure wisdom, boys. So many times in life, you hear something, whether it's from a Bible or your mum tells you something, or, you hear something on YouTube, and you hear it and you know it's right, but you don't do it. You don't take any action on it. Right? And that's the problem, is we all know what to do, but we don't do it. Right? We all know what we should be doing, but we don't do it. And I heard something yesterday, which was really, really true. It's about your gut knows every decision. In every single decision you have, every split decision, your gut knows and tells you what to do. Right? And the reason this was so interesting is because he was basically saying, your gut tells you what to do, but your gut is God. Right? God is inside of every single one of us. So when you have a gut decision to, I don't know, you know that you should go and speak to that girl, right? Or you know that you should take that opportunity, or you know that you should travel to that country, and you've got that gut feeling. You're like, well, I know I should do it, but then the uncomfort comes in, right? Or then the doubt comes in, or then the fear comes in, or then the excuses come in, whatever. That gut was God. Right now, you might be like, well, what do you mean? Like, you literally gave an example of me going up to a girl. Bro, like, you don't understand what God has planned for you. Small things turn into big things, right? You might believe, oh, why would God want me to speak to that girl, right? If you really, like, let's say, for example, this is just an example. You really have a gut feeling that you should go and speak to a certain girl, right? That you meet in the street or whatever. Or you don't really meet her, you just walk past and you're like, oh, like, I feel like I should meet her for some reason. Or I feel like I should go and speak to her. Maybe God wanted that person to be your wife. Maybe God wanted that person to be the person you gave your life to, right? Like, you never know until you actually do something. That's the interesting thing about spontaneous decisions, is you only know once you've done them. If you didn't do them, it would have been a different reality, right? For example, I'll give you a personal example, right? And I think I spoke about it in, like, maybe yesterday's video or the video before. When I was in Lisbon, there was this girl, right? And I met her and we were walking, like, I was on my way to the beach. She was on her way to a different beach, but I didn't even know because I didn't speak to her. We were both waiting, like, near a train station. And then I got lost, so I was like, which way do I go, right? Legit excuse. It wasn't like I was trying to start, well, I kind of was trying to start a convo, but it was actually something I needed to know, right? Because I don't speak Portuguese. She was like, oh, I don't speak much English. I was like, okay, don't worry. And then she was like, oh, but I can try and help. And I was like, all right, sure. How do I get to that way? Right? And then she was like, oh, you just have to do this. But I couldn't find it, so I came back. Like, I did this like 2 or 3 times because I literally couldn't find the place she was talking about. And she was like, oh, you're crazy, whatever. We started to have a proper conversation, and she ended up saying like, oh, I'm going to the beach. We can just go together. And I was like, all right, perfect. And then we ended up spending like literally like 5 or 6 hours together, right? Which is beautiful. But that only came from the spontaneous decision of actually asking her a question, starting a conversation, going up to her. That gut feeling you have is God, right? That's what you have to understand. So when you literally go against what your gut says, you know, like, for example, you come home, right? You're a little bit tired, but you know you should help your mum with something, or you know you should help your dad with something, or you know you should work on your online business, whatever. But instead you just play video games. That gut feeling of like, no, you know you should be doing this. That's God telling you, stop playing video games and actually get off your ass and actually do what you know you need to do. Right? So, that's that part. I think there's a... Here was it? Here we go. I'll see if I can find this one. This one was amazing. Outsmarting Reality is such a good book. So you can screenshot it. Outsmarting Reality. It is beautiful. So I'll read this part, right? It's a lot longer to it, but I'll just read this part. Practical. Establish your word as law. There can be no if, buts, or maybes. Your command in your life is your final say. The moment something arises that must be done, you have no choice but to get it done. Because whether you realize this or not, like this or not, the mind is forever keeping score. The mind keeps track of all instances where you say you'll do something and then don't do it. Then it notes that down as ITFT, for inability to follow through. The more ITFTs you get, the less your mind trusts you, which means the less the universe trusts you, which decreases the materialization of your desired reality. Conversely, the mind also keeps track of all instances where you say you'll do something and then you do it. Then it notes that down as ATFT, for ability to follow through. The more ATFTs you get, the more your mind trusts you, which means the more the universe trusts you, which increases the materialization of your desired reality. Right? This book, honestly, I'm not even joking. This book, I mark my words, right? Mark my words here. This book will be one of the main books and the main reasons, not even the main books, this book will be one of the main reasons why I get a Lamborghini in the next 2 years. I'm telling you. And it'll probably be in the next 1 year if I really do what I know I have to do. Right? I don't know. How long are we on? 9 minutes. All right. You know what? I feel like the people who are really committed are going to watch this video and carry on watching. The people who aren't might have clicked on it and already left. So I'm actually going to carry on and maybe make this like a 15-minute video because I got this chapter part I want to speak to you. Right? And by the way, get the book. It's amazing. The first step to mastering reality. The principle. How can you control reality if you can't even control yourself? How can you expect reality to submit to you if you can't even submit to yourself? How can you expect reality to listen to your commands if you can't even listen to your own commands? There is no way around it. The first step to controlling your reality is through controlling yourself, through self-mastery. What you truly master is reality, and that is because you and your reality are one. It is the same entity simply existing on different levels. The most unused word in the manifestation space is discipline. There is no manifestation without self-mastery. There is no manifestation without self-discipline. Nothing is compartmentalized in the world, and as a result, nothing is hidden to the universe. More often than not, what is reflected in the universe is weakness within. Most people that struggle to manifest don't have difficulty with anything other than mastering themselves, and as a result, they struggle to master reality. Truthfully, you do not have a discipline problem. In fact, nobody has a discipline problem. The true problem is that you are disciplined by the old frequency and not the new one. You're disciplined in how you see the world. You're disciplined in how you see people. You're disciplined in how you label reality. You're disciplined in how you react to reality. You're disciplined in how you think. You're disciplined in how you feel. You're disciplined in how you focus on certain things. To live a life that you don't like requires discipline to maintain that frequency of that life. In the same way, to live a life that you do like requires discipline to maintain the frequency of that life. Discipline isn't an issue, but the irony is there are no truths in reality other than what the subconscious mind accepts as true. When you decide you have no discipline, this is what materializes into your reality. Recognize how disciplined you've been in order to maintain the old frequency so consistently, and you'll truly realize how powerful you are. Ironically, the old frequency likes to project the idea that you are weak and lack discipline, so you emit the frequency of weakness as you attempt to materialize your desired reality while hiding the power and strength you have to maintain it. You're more disciplined than you think, and it's your failure to realize this that results in your failed attempts to discipline a new frequency into reality. That is so true. It's your failure to realize this that results in your failed attempts to discipline the new frequency into reality. Until you recognize the power of that discipline, you will not be able to redirect it towards where you want to go. It seems as though spirituality has become sort of escapism for those who wish to be liberated from responsibility and discipline. But understand, you will never create your desired reality without them. Laziness will be tolerated by your old frequency, but not your new frequency. Self-mastery is the only path to your new frequency, and there is no self-mastery without self-discipline, which means there is no manifestation without self-discipline. All self-mastery can be summarized with one line: the ability to follow through on your conscious commands. To simplify, it's following through on your own word and establishing your word as law. And there are many spiritual paths and different schools of thoughts that pursue self-mastery differently, but at their core, they can be boiled down to the following through on your conscious direction. But at their core, they can be boiled down to following through on your conscious direction. How can you expect to command the universe if you can't even command yourself? Through commanding yourself, you command the universe. Commanding ourselves at times can feel like a battle, and in a way it is, because the old frequency has taken hold of the ego and merged with it to a point where they are indistinguishable. In the esoteric, the ego isn't a negative trait as society might define it. Rather, it's the simple aspect of you that is confined to the physical plane, rooted in the five senses: sight, hearing, taste, touch, and smell. The ego is nothing more than a vehicle. I want to make it clear, the ego is not the enemy, unless you perceive it to be so, which then sets in motion you experiencing it as so. It is the physical expression of the God's consciousness. The ego is a vehicle used to get you from one reality to another. You are not your body. Instead, you animate the avatar, which is the ego. Okay, last page. The ego has been given many names across cultures. To the religious, the devil. To Buddhists, the monkey mind. To spiritualists, the lower self. To scientists, the primal brain. The name is irrelevant. Master it or it will master you. And remember, if it does, due to its merging with the old frequency, what will truly master you is the old frequency, not the ego. Mastery of reality begins with mastery of the self, and that begins with controlling the ego. It's the ability to impose your will over the default mode of operation. You have a way of seeing the world, you have a way of seeing people, you have a way of labeling reality, you have a way of reacting to reality, you have a way of thinking, you have a way of feeling, you have a way of focusing on certain things. All of the above is your default mode of operation, which can only result in the default frequency being emitted, which can only result in the default reality. As mentioned earlier, the basis of self-mastery is your ability to follow through on your own conscious direction and commands. If that's not worth millions, I don't know what is, right? That is wisdom. You have to be able to, literally, like I said, you got to be willing to follow through on your conscious commands. When you say to yourself, I'm going to wake up at this time, when you say to yourself, I'm going to do this, you have to do it. Because in the next chapter, which I'm reading right now, which maybe I'll actually bring tomorrow. See, this is what I think. When I read the books, I can analyze them and then give you guys more value. Whereas if I'm just speaking straight to the camera, yes, it's raw and authentic, which it can be like this as well. But I also forget a lot of the things that I want to mention because I don't have a piece of paper or anything in front of me. Right? So it's just the things I remember, the things on the top of my mind. But the next thing I'm talking about is momentum, right? Inside the next chapter, is about momentum. Right? Excuse me. And it's about like compounding results, which means every single time, which is what I was going to say, every single time you say to yourself, I'm going to do this, and then you don't end up doing it. Or you say, I'm going to stay away from this vice, and you end up doing it. Every single time you do that, it's momentum. It causes you into doing it the next time, and the next time, and the next time, and the next time. And before you know it, you're in a rut. Right? Before you know it, it's been a month and you haven't done a single thing which you knew you had to do. Right? For me, I said I'll be wake up at 6:55 probably 3 weeks ago, a month ago. I probably said at the start of the series, every single day I'll wake up at 6:55. Right? And then in like 10 episodes, I already stopped. Right? And now, obviously, I'm back on episode 11. But like, don't beat yourself up too much about it. But you've also got to understand you're never going to get to your desired reality if you keep on doing what your old frequency does. Because your frequency is what dictates reality. Right? And if you keep on aligning your actions with your old frequency, you're going to keep on living the old reality. If you want to live the new reality and your desired reality, you have to make sure your frequency is aligned with that desired reality. Right? So, yeah, that's pretty much everything I want to say for this video, boys. But yeah, this is Road to Lamborghini episode 11. You'll see me with a Lambo. I know for a fact you'll see me with a Lambo. In fact, probably in the Lambo, I'll have these two books. Maybe I'll have the different one, but I'll have the Holy Bible, that's for sure. And then Smart Reality is an absolute banger as well. So, yeah. But with that said, boys, God bless. Have an amazing day. What is it today? It's Monday, so start the brand new week. I'll keep you guys updated. I think this week should be massive with business. In fact, I know it will be as long as I follow through on what I say I have to do. Right? But, yeah, keep on grinding, boys. If you want to work me one-to-one, there's a link in the description for my Instagram. Follow me there as well, just so you can get more value, even if you don't want to work with me or whatever, or you don't want to work with me yet. Yeah, with that said, that's the end of this video, boys. I'll see you boys tomorrow.